Hey, visit the link in the description for a special surprise just for you.
Now that we learned how automation rules work, let's check out our second type of automation, which are workflows. Remember, the goal for both rules and workflows is the same, which is to automate our processes as much as possible. But workflows are a little different from rules. One could argue automation rules are similar in the sense that you have a trigger and an action, and you know that if a trigger is set off, then the action follows automatically, like action-reaction. On the other hand, you can think of workflows more as a sequence of events or a sequence of automations. Now, in order to start using workflows, of course, we need to create a new one. Then just add the name for your workflow and save it. The workflow space has been created, and now it's time to start adding triggers and actions. A workflow always starts with a trigger. You can start with just one trigger or several triggers. The options for these triggers are the same as the ones we had for automation rules. So we have triggers tag added, tag removed, funnel form subscribed, blog page form subscribed, campaign completed, register to webinar, enrolled in course bundle, and for example, let's use funnel form subscribed. So here, of course, we must choose the squeeze page or sales page or any page that contains a form in one of our funnels. After creating this trigger, then I can choose to add another first trigger. You can choose tag added or tag removed or really any other trigger from the list. After adding your first trigger or triggers, now we have a plus button right here that we're going to click, and then a pop-up will show up with different options. The first option is to add an action. This means an action will happen right after our trigger is set up, or we can go with adding a decision. A decision means we're splitting the path of an action. The system will check your settings and your criteria in order for an action to take place or to happen. And finally, we can choose to add a delay. And this is the time that will pass in order for an action or a decision to take place. For example, let's start with an action. Here, I will add a tag automatically as soon as someone subscribes. So I will add this action, and now, according to workflow, once someone subscribes using this page, a tag will be added to their contact immediately after that. You can also choose to add another action, for example, sending an email. You can select an email from the list, if it's an email that you've already created before, or you can create a new one by clicking here. You could also choose an email that you wrote in the past and use it as it is, or you can choose one and edit it if you want to make some changes to it before adding it to the workflow. Now the email has been created, and this means that after subscribing to one of the forms in one of my pages, the subscriber will automatically get a tag, and also they will receive an email. Now after this, maybe you might want to add a delay. So for example, let's add a 1-day delay. And then we can go ahead and add another action, like subscribing the contact to an email campaign. So let's review our workflow. When someone subscribes using the form on my funnel page, they will automatically get a tag and receive an email. And then 1 day after this happens, they will be subscribed to an email campaign and start receiving the emails for that specific campaign. Now let's imagine that within this email campaign, we're actually selling something. So maybe we are including a link to a sales page or an order form. And within that order form page, we added an automation indicating that if someone buys something, they will get a tag. And let's say that the tag that they get is called tag example 2. So this is an automation that we set up inside the funnel page. So we don't see that here in this workflow. But what we can do here is check and also decide what happens to those subscribers who get the tag. So to those who actually purchase something. And we can do that by adding a decision. So let's say we wait 1 day after my contact is added to the campaign to make that decision. We get several options here to make a decision. So we can check the contact fields, tags, email clicked, created ad, activity, or contact state. For this example, we want to check on a tag. So let's choose tag, and we want the option contact tagged with. And then we choose the tag that they're supposed to be tagged with, which for this example was tag example 2, meaning they purchased something. You could also add a second decision if you wanted 2 scenarios with different conditions to choose from. And then just click create, and our decision will be added to the workflow. This means that after subscribing the contact to the email campaign, the system will wait 1 day, and then it will check automatically if the contact has this tag or not. If they have the tag, that is a yes, it means the contact made a purchase. If they made a purchase, that means they don't really need to receive any more emails. So you might want to add an action to unsubscribe them from the campaign. But if after 1 day the system checks and they still don't have the tag, it means it will go to the no path, meaning they have not purchased anything yet. So we can add another delay, another 1 day delay, and then add the same decision so that the system can check again if they have the tag or if they purchase the offer. If it's a yes, then we can go ahead and unsubscribe them from the campaign. If not, then you might want to repeat the same delay and decision depending on how long your email campaign is. If your campaign is only 3 days long, like this one, then for the last decision, both the yes and no paths can lead to unsubscribing the contact from the campaign. And also, since this person went through the whole campaign and did not make a purchase, you could also add a final action to send them an email. So here it is. Here's the example workflow that we just created. Of course, this is only an example. There are really no limits as to the size or steps you can create with your workflows. There are tons of scenarios that you can automate here. It really depends on your business, your goals, and what you want to accomplish. They can be as simple or as complex as you want them to be. Don't feel overwhelmed by workflows if you're just starting out. At first, your workflow might have 1 or 2 steps, and as your business grows, you'll find the need to keep automating and making things even bigger. Now, if you want to activate and publish your workflow, all you need to do is exit the workflow and then go to the 3-dot menu and click on Activate. And let's look at the rest of the buttons here in the 3-dot menu. So the first one is the Settings button. Here you can change your workflow's name. And don't worry, because this name is only visible to you or your account managers. And we also have the Remove button. So if you decided you no longer need it or want it there, you can just remove it permanently. Keep in mind, if you decide to remove an active workflow, your contacts will be left on the last step that they went through before you deleted it. So it will not continue if they had any more steps to go through.
Leave a comment below if you have any questions, and don't forget to subscribe.